All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. If anyone else decides to join us, they can hop in where we are. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight. I am First Lieutenant Emma Canning. I am the Ohio Wing Director of Plans and Programs, and it is my pleasure tonight to introduce Brigadier General Chris Walker. Brigadier General Chris Walker is the Assistant Adjutant General and Commander of West Virginia Air National Guard. The West Virginia Air National Guard has over 2,100 members and consists of two flying units, the 130th Airlift Wing in Charleston, West Virginia, and the 167th Airlift Wing in Martinsburg, West Virginia. As the Assistant Adjutant General and Air Commander, he provides command and control over all Air National Guard forces assigned to the state and is the principal advisor to the Adjutant General on all matters related to the Air National Guard. It is my pleasure tonight to introduce Brigadier General Chris Walker.
Good evening, everybody. I'm hoping that the weather wasn't too bad where you all are. It was bad out here, and I'm just praying that everybody was safe and was not adversely affected by it today. This evening, I'm going to be talking to you all about mentorship and how important it is for your careers and lives. I don't know how many of you are planning to join the military, but mentorship is something that you should be looking into beyond the military. Let's say you never go into the military, but you want to be the best you can be in a particular organization or corporation, or start your own business. I'm just talking about anything in life. Mentorship is important. And I have to admit to you, I found out about mentorship later on in my career. I was sort of feeling my way through my career for many, many years. Lieutenant, and I was making my mistakes and learning from them. Captain, I was doing the same, but I was still sort of feeling my way through in the dark. And when I was a senior major, as a matter of fact, that's when I started, the light bulb went on, and I said, wait a minute, why am I feeling my way through on this? Because I observed some of my other colleagues really shooting ahead, and I noticed, hey, wait a minute. My buddy over here is always talking with Colonel so-and-so or Lieutenant Colonel, the secrets. I know some of you all have heard the expression knowledge is power. And a lot of people take that expression very literally and talk about, oh yes, the more I study in school and I get good grades, then that's going to give me some power. Yes, it will. But when I'm talking about knowledge is power, I'm talking more about the hidden knowledge. Let's just say this: there are certain people who are ultra successful, ultra rich, and when they send their kids to school, they're sending their kids to school not just to learn arithmetic and reading and language. They're sending their kids to certain schools that will teach them the secrets and the knowledge that will enable them to become leaders and captains of industry and have people working for them. Whereas there are other people who go to school with the mentality of learning enough so that they can work for somebody else. So you see the difference in that? So when I talk about knowledge is power, having a mentor can give you all some of those secrets to get you ahead and get you a step above in your organizations, to help you navigate the obstacles that you would normally be feeling your way through. Okay? So when I say all of that, a mentor is not somebody that is going to make it happen for you. Okay, that's what we would call a sponsor or your fairy godmother or your fairy godfather. But a mentor is not that person. A mentor is supposed to be the one who's providing you guidance, feedback, and support in this process of you becoming the best you can be. Okay. And then when I say that, some of you might say, well, that's to me sounds like a coach. See, again, a mentor is not to be confused with a coach. A coach is somebody who's going to be focusing on specific strengths and weaknesses, and a mentor could do that too. But with the relationship of a coach and their athlete, is tends to be finite for the time that you're playing that game, whereas a mentor is meant to be a lifelong mentor, a lifelong partner in knowledge, okay? And a lifelong confidant. All right. So a coach can become a mentor. Let's say after high school football or gymnastics, you still go to your coach for advice on life. That coach is now becoming your mentor. All right. So what's the benefits of having a mentor? Again, I say providing that knowledge. All right. And when I say knowledge, I don't mean showing you how to use Planck's constant to figure out the energy of a photon. I'm talking about the secrets of life and the secrets of navigating that particular organization. All right. The mentor is also supposed to help you improve. Okay. So it's often easier for someone on the outside of yourself to notice where you need improvement. A lot of you, including me, all of us, tend to look at ourselves in the mirror, but not give ourselves truly honest feedback about ourselves, because the ego tends to get in the way of that. Whereas a mentor can be an honest broker with you and say, hey, I know you think that you're doing great in that, but you could do a lot better. And they're not there to break you down. They're there to uplift you and help you to get better. All right. Another good thing about a mentor is broadening your professional network. All right. So a lot of you, again, if you're going into a new organization, you're going to have to feel yourself around. And there's some of you who are absolutely great at that, just getting out there and meeting people and making friends easily. But again, a mentor can help you find out the people who can help you in your career the most. All right. And so, and also give you more mentors. Right. So having a mentor and broadening your network is important. Networking is going to be important in everything that you do. The mentor is also supposed to be providing you encouragement. All right. Because there's going to be times when all of us feel that we are falling short sometimes and go, oh man, I don't know if I can do this. And you start doubting yourself, and the mentor is supposed to be there to go, come on now, take 2 more steps. You're going to be great. The mentor is there to not only point out your flaws or give advice, he's supposed to be your support system. All right. I'm not talking about a crutch, but a support system. The mentor is supposed to help advise you. All right. And most of all, the mentor should be trying to help you learn from the mentor's experience. The mentor usually is going to be somebody who has more experience than you do. Okay. That they can actually tell you the mistakes that they've made and help you to avoid making those same mistakes. All right. All right. But there are also benefits in being a mentor. And the reason I want to tell you that is because some of you are going to become mentors as well. I don't care how old you are. If you've been through things and you have experience, you can actually be a mentor to somebody else. All right. A lot of you, when you think of mentor, you're going to think of somebody with gray in their mustache and gray beard and maybe walking with a cane, looking like Mr. Miyagi. No. Anybody can be a mentor. All right. So I want you to, and the reason I'm about to tell you the benefits of being a mentor is because I expect you all, especially in the Civil Air Patrol, to become mentors to all of the up and coming cadets that come into your program. Okay. So one of the benefits of being a mentor is improving your communication skills. Right. As a mentor, you're going to be working on your verbal and written communications. Okay. When you're working with your mentee and having conversations. Another thing that benefit is it's reinforcing your own knowledge. Yes, you have that experience, but again, there are times when your mentee is going to ask you something that you don't have all the answers to. And if you're a good mentor, that'll force you to dig in and find out what those answers are. So it'll end up broadening your own knowledge. All right. And again, when I talked about the benefit of to the mentee of broadening a network, as a mentor, you can broaden your network as well by connecting with other mentors and leadership professionals. All right. So these are all the things that are the benefits of that program. And, plus, also the benefit of mentorship or of being a mentor is that sense of fulfillment and growth. Let's say you all become mentors and you watch your mentee, the light bulb coming on and your mentee getting better at something and actually navigating the obstacle course, for want of a better term, of life, the obstacle course of 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 becoming a better cadet within the Civil Air Patrol. When you're seeing that, your own sense of fulfillment and growth increases. All right, and then also you're improving your leadership skills as being a mentor, because again, you're most likely going to want to lead by example. And if you're a mentor, one thing within you, there's going to be something within you that makes you stay on the straight and narrow, because you don't want your mentee going the wrong way by watching you go the wrong way. It's gonna improve your own leadership skills. All right. So let's talk about types of mentors. We talked about earlier the coach, and I said again, the coach is something specific, but it's short term. But the experienced leader, whenever you think of mentoring, the experienced leader is the thing that mostly comes to your minds, right? But then again, there could be educators, teachers can also be mentors. Because I'm telling you, I'm sure, absolutely sure, because it happened with me, that with my in the past, my English teacher, I didn't always ask English questions. I asked sometimes questions about life, and good teachers will give their best advice on that, and that's them becoming that's being mentors. All right, my math or engineering professors, I didn't always ask them about math and engineering. I sometimes, if I trusted them and saw that they were the type of person I wanted to be, I'd ask them other questions about life, and they became de facto mentors. All right. Um, the trusted listener. Sometimes there are people who are not really, they are listening and they are being that listening rock for you, because sometimes people just need other people to listen and hear them. And sometimes that trusted listener uh, will listen to you non-judgmentally and maybe provide you a little advice. But sometimes having that person to go to and talk to who will just listen is an important part of your development as well. All right. And then sometimes again, the peer provider. And I said that will apply maybe to some of you all, the cadets, because you're going to have other cadets your same age who are new to the program coming in and asking you for advice. And you can be giving them regulation advice, but you can also be giving them mentorship advice. There's a difference. All right. You say, hey, read this regulation, follow this, march this way. That's you teaching them how to the basics. And then there's, okay, if here's how to shine your shoes just a little bit better. Use this secret technique. Okay, when we come into this place, that person's gonna say something bad to you, but ignore it because that person does it to everybody. Uh, let's just ignore and come over here, and we're going to be better for. These are sort of mentorship kinds of advice that you could be giving to your peers. So you could be a peer provider mentor, all right? So here's the thing with mentorship. The biggest word, the most important concept within mentorship, in my opinion, is trust, okay? Because within every mentor-mentee relationship, there's going to be times when it calls upon a level of confidentiality. Sometimes you may come to your mentors, or your mentees may come to you with personal problems, and sometimes you're not even going to know how to even respond or give the best advice. But the fact that they're doing that shows how much they trust you. Okay, and if you're going to be a good mentor, then you have to keep that confidentiality, and you have to maintain that trust. Once you lose trust, it's very, very difficult to ever get it back. And being a mentor means giving and keeping trust. All right, and it's an agreement for honesty as well, because if you're going to seek a mentor, and then you're going to ask for that mentor's help you with that. Sometimes it's sort of like being honest with your lawyer. You got to tell everything, and that lawyer can help you the best, knowing everything, and nothing is a surprise. Same thing with being a mentor. Your mentees need to be totally honest. And sometimes when I say being totally honest, looking within yourself and being totally honest, because the mentor is probably going to be honest with you and say, no, you're not as good as you think you are in that, but we're going to help get you better. All right. So let's talk of finding a mentor. Some of you, again, like I said, are the type who will walk into a room and just start talking to anybody and are friendly, and some of you are not. And in order to get a mentor, most times you're going to have to ask. All right. There are times when wise, experienced persons will see you and recognize your talents and maybe offer themselves as a mentor. But in most cases, you're going to have to go and find your own mentor. All right. So what you're going to have to do sometimes is, there are things on social media, LinkedIn, which is a professional network. Sometimes people seek people out there. You can enroll in a professional network. And so within Civil Air Patrol, I know that there's a network amongst all the wings. And with your meeting, and within the Ohio wing, I am certain that you all have, whether it's summer encampments or other functions where you're together with some of the other squadrons throughout Ohio. Well, sometimes you may, each squadron is going to have different senior members. Some of those senior members in different squadrons might have different skills or different experiences, and you'll find out maybe during some of these gatherings, and you might say, "Hey, I would love for that person to be my mentor." Well, you're going to have to go and tell that person, because again, uh, the easiest way is for you to initiate and ask someone to be your mentor. All right. Uh, but again, there have been times, especially with Civil Air Patrol, when I go and visit different Civil Air Patrol squadrons throughout West Virginia, sometimes within Maryland or the Washington, D.C. area, and I see cadets who are particularly talented. Sometimes I'll actually give them my card and say, "Hey, give me a call. I'd like to help you out with that." So again, there are times when you may get a mentor offering his or her services to you. All right. And if you get that, embrace it. So with that, what I want to do is open up the floor to any questions that you all may have. Don't be shy.
Hey, sir, this is Major Greta. I really appreciate you speaking with us tonight. I can't tell you how much I think it, this is going to help the cadets. None of us got exposure to this when we were kids, right? But just having just these little tidbits helps
That's
us
right.
nudge them along, right? So they can reach higher in their lives. And so I really appreciate you investing your time. And I appreciate Emma for putting this together. And I do want to commend the cadets who signed on. You keep seeking out good advice from accomplished mentors like this throughout your life. You will be, the gap between you and your peers will just widen and widen and widen. So, sir, as far as my question, really, I just want to first recap, the points of your talk as kind of like a reflective listening type of thing to see if I've missed anything here. So really seek mentorship early, often from multiple mentors. Seek to mentor other people. That's going to make you better. It's going to sharpen your leadership skills. And then one thing that really spoke to me, you talked to deep fulfillment. I think a lot of people are, live their lives as adults and they're kind of just chasing the dollar. And, that's fulfilling only insofar as the dollar can make you happy. But, actually lifting somebody else up, I mean, that is deep intrinsic fulfillment. So that one really spoke to me, and I appreciate you mentioning that. You mentioned trust, the most important part of mentorship. I like that. And then, finding a mentor. And, one thing I'd like to add to that is I don't know anybody, worth your time as a mentee, who wouldn't be willing to help you, right? I mean, most people, you go and seek their guidance, they're going to want to help you. And if they don't, they're probably not the mentor for you anyway. So
Exactly.
and that's what I got, sir. Tighten me up if I missed anything. And once again, thanks so much.
You're very, very welcome. I want to also let everybody know I still have mentors. And so when I'm in a tight spot, I will seek out advice from some of my mentors who are 2 stars and 3 stars. And because perhaps they have been through this sort of thing before. And by learning from their experience, I might be able to make wiser decisions. So mentorship never ends. Until the day I die, I will be seeking advice from my mentors, whether it be professionally or whether it be personal. Any other questions out there from some of the cadets? By the way, I'll let you know that I have a couple are youngsters who want to go to service academies. And of course, I'm going to try to get them to the Air Force Academy, but hey, wherever they want to go, I help them to do the right things throughout their junior and senior years of high school to be competitive, to get into service academies or get ROTC scholarships. May not want to be in the military at all, but they're trying to better themselves. Most of them are in bad neighborhoods, and they're trying to find a way out. Besides crime, but they're trying to find a way out to be successful and leave all of that behind. So again, mentorship isn't always about military. For me, it's just about helping people. You have any of you cadets wanting to go to any service academies? Okay.
It looks like we had
there we go. All right, Cadet Thorpe.
a message in the chat.
Excellent, excellent. All right, excellent. Now, Cadet Thorpe does. Excellent. Cadet Thorpe, I have to ask, are you any relation to Haley Thorpe, who's in the West Virginia Civil Air Patrol? It's just a long shot, but perhaps. I'll look at the chats.
Sorry, it's easier to unmute. No, sir, not that I know of, but I am related to Senior Member Tharp. Senior Member Tech Sergeant Tharp.
Yes, yes. All right. Small world. There we go. Excellent. No other questions out there? No other statements? No other, any of you already have mentors? Have any of you become a mentor to somebody else?
Hey,
I
if
know
the
the
cadets aren't,
virtual,
if
there
the
you go.
cadets, if the cadets aren't going to ask, I'll continue asking questions. I guess first I'll answer your question. Have I become a mentor? So typically it happens kind of in an informal way. Somebody will come up to you and they'll just say, "Hey, I'm thinking about making this choice. What do you think?" Typically it's somebody I've worked with very closely before. And I liked what you said about, mentorship is for a lifetime, right? I mean, that's always it's just a phone call away. I feel the same way about leadership. It's the 3:30 in the morning calls you get just years down the road, and you haven't worked together in all those years. And yeah, but it just happens, and they're having some thoughts and stuff, and they just want to get them off their chest. But I guess another time where that really sticks out to me as a mentor is I was a company commander for a special forces company, and we were about to go to Afghanistan. So I thought, okay, if I were to have 12 months with these guys back in the rear before we went, I would want them thinking a certain way. I would want them knowing certain things. I want them to be culturally attuned in these ways, thinking about our mission in a certain way. And so I didn't have 12 full months, but I had about 3. So what I did is I created these 12 essentially lessons, the leadership professional development lessons. And we all still agree, it wasn't so much the discussions we were having about the lesson, we were having that day. It was the way we were communicating once we did get into combat, and all that stuff. I mean, you just cannot go wrong having a mentorship relationship, particularly with people you're working with on a day-to-day basis. It just makes that relationship so much deeper. So that was, I guess, maybe a case of more of a formalized, mentorship thing, rather than the person kind of coming and seeking you out in an informal way. Anyway, that's to answer your question, sir.
It's an enhanced cohesion.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I don't regret a single minute of those, of that time we spent together, because we were just operating on a different level when we got overseas. I did want to ask you, is there something in your career, sir, that stands out as a kind of a moment of pride, or just one of those memories that just makes you smile, that maybe you could share with the cadets?
Yes, as a matter of fact, so my first mentor, when I decided to, when the light bulb kind of went on, my first mentor, well, I don't want to say coached me, but really convinced me that I needed to pursue command. That was the farthest thing from my head. I just wanted to, at that time, I just wanted to fly and enjoy flying around the world and enjoy the crew life. But my first mentor really opened my eyes to, no, command is very important, because you're going to be taking care of your people, and that's going to give you a lot of fulfillment. There are going to be times when it's going to be a pain in the butt, because invariably when you're taking care of humans, there are going to be problems. There may be DUIs, there may be other things, but again, the fulfillment of making sure that your airmen are taken care of, and watching them grow professionally and get more cohesive and become a tighter unit because you're leading them, that is ultimate fulfillment. And so at first I was going, well, maybe, but he convinced me. I was able to get command, and holy smokes, was he right? And so that was a seminal moment, because if I had not decided to, first of all, seek his mentorship, and then if I decided not to listen to his advice, I wouldn't be where I am today. Hands down, I would not. Another mentor of mine convinced me, hurry up and get your professional military education done, because you never know when opportunity is going to knock. And if opportunity knocks and you cannot unlock that door and open it, then it's not going to come back. And so I said, man, and I at first I sort of went, I don't know if I have time for that. He said, no, you need to make time for it, because you'll be surprised how opportunity tends to come knocking. And so I did, and holy smokes, not even a month after, I got an opportunity, an opportunity knock and an offer for a command position in the Connecticut Guard. So I had to transfer from the West Virginia Air National Guard to the Connecticut Air National Guard, but it was for an 06 colonel position, which may not have happened if I stayed in the West Virginia Guard at that time, because we had my particular wing was going through conversion, and all sorts of things were happening, and I don't know if that opportunity would have come. But I was ready because I had my professional military education done. When the opportunity knocked, I could say, click, open the door, yes, and go on for that opportunity. So again, listening to my mentor and taking my mentor's advice seriously enhanced my career. I would not be where I am today, but for that.
That's fantastic. I really appreciate your insight, sir. And it reminds me of that saying, was it preparation plus opportunity equals success? You had prepared yourself, right? By having the keys to unlock that door, the opportunity came along and you met with success. That's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I guess if no one else is going to jump in, I'll ask a question of my own.
All right.
What advice would you have to a young person, say a cadet or someone just starting out in the world, that wants to become a mentor but isn't quite sure how to do that?
The first thing is to make sure if one wants to become a mentor, then one has to have one's house clean. And when I say house clean, meaning one has to be mentally prepared, knowledgeable, and have some experience to impart. All right. So to become a good mentor, quite honestly, you're going to want to make sure that you have knowledge to impart. Secondly, I think the most important one is to be a good listener. There are some people, and we all know these kind of people, who listen just waiting to respond instead of listening, trying to understand. All right. And if you're one of those people who are just listening and waiting for your opening so that you can respond, you'll never be a good mentor. You have to just listen and understand and soak it in. Because again, when I talked earlier, sometimes the mentee just wants to get something off their chest and they need somebody to listen. And if you're all the time jumping in and not letting them get their full thoughts out, you'll never be a good mentor. So be a good listener, be trustworthy, and also have knowledge to impart upon someone. So that's my advice.
Thank you.
Very, very well. A lot of shy cadets out there. I know you're not this normally shy.
If they're going to give us the floor, I'm going to take it.
All right.
So for what you just said, I mean, I would just want to highlight that for the cadets. I mean, I see that as one of those golden truths: listen to understand. Are you familiar with Joe McCormick's book brief or brief lab? He does a lot of work with military on succinct executive communication. Anyway, it sounds like you shared those words with him. So again, I just wanted to highlight it for the cadets. Please take note of the general's words. Those are powerful. Listen to understand, not listen to respond. Thanks again, General.
You're very, very welcome. It sounds like we may not use the whole full hour tonight.
That's quite all right. Thank you so much for the time that you did give us. And if there's any last questions, don't be afraid to jump in now. I know we might have some senior members on the line as well. Maybe some questions for your cadets that you guys have.
Exactly.
Or not.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for your time tonight, General. I know we really appreciate it.
My pleasure. The pleasure is entirely mine, believe me.
Thank you.
Thank you, General.
All right. Thank you all.
All right. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and end the call. Thank you all so much for joining tonight, and I look forward to seeing you guys back for next week's talk.
Thanks, Emma.
Farewell.
Have
now.
a good night.
Night, night.
Night, sir. Thank you.